Ooh, we're live. Hello. Hello.
What's up? What's
I
up?
love how we both just start bouncing.
What's up? It's because we have
And
so much.
there's no music, but let's just keep bouncing. I hear music in my head 24/7 though. I feel like that's it's fair. Crazy brain. It's always there. Something's always going on.
Have you seen the Family Guy where Peter? I don't remember if I think it's a wish. Like he wishes a genie to have like I don't know if it's background music playing all the time, no matter what he's doing. Like so when
That
it gets excited, it's like excited music.
yes.
When it gets sad, it's like sad music. It's like the whole episode. And I was like, what would life really be like if like
Yeah.
you had like movie music?
Oh my
Like when you're
God.
doing things like, and so like your dog dies and it's like, duh.
Da-da. Or you stub your toe. Oh my gosh, some of you watching this right now, you need to think about what your background music would be like all day because it's
Truth. Oh, that's a
depressing and
good,
sad. Oh
yes.
my goodness, the energy is off, boo thing. Boo
Yes.
boo. It's
Ooh,
no
that's
bueno.
like homework, you guys.
Yeah.
Tonight,
Yeah.
sit down
Yeah.
and journal it out. If I had background music to the majority of my life, what would it sound like? That's so freaking good.
Well, you
That's
brought
so
it
good.
up.
I
You
know.
brought it up.
I'm
I
gonna brush
mean,
this off my shoulders.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. I think about like the old me and my old life and how I was bitching and complaining all the time and justifying and why this wouldn't work and why that wouldn't work. And my music would have been like depressing, sad, victim, boo hooey.
I know. I mean, but think about it. Those of you who are on here, and let's just be 100, because I have people in my inbox every day too, whining, complaining, making excuses, right? Like excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got them, right? Like
True.
what would your background music be? Because energy is everything. And
Yeah.
I actually like one of the things that I do all the time is I'm constantly asking myself, how am I feeling right now? Because if I can ask myself, how am I feeling right now, then I automatically know if I'm not feeling good, then my thoughts and my words are probably not good either. Right. And since energy is everything, you're going to get what you put out there and you're going to get what you focus on. So let's change our background music. Drop in the comments below what you would have as your background jam 24/7 if you could choose. I'm going to tell
Yo
you.
quiero dinero. Hey.
I love it. Mine would be number one spot, Baluda. I love it.
Okay.
Okay. For number one. All the
super
time,
ratchet.
you know? Number
Super
one.
ratchet. Of course, now you probably hear my dog in the background because he's being annoying. Romeo, no one cares. Okay. So we've got actually a little surprise tonight. Let's start off with the surprise. And then we're going to intro Brian. I think that's really important that we brought somebody specifically from our team that literally enrolled 10 people on the highest enrollment pack in 48 hours. And so we shot him a message this morning. We're like, Brian, you know what? Like, they really need these challengers really need to hear from you because he went from a slump kind of background music to like the Rocky, like where he's like running on the top,
Like,
yeah, rubbing the money duck. Yeah. And so I asked if he would come on here and break down like how did he change that background music? That's not what we called it, but now we're going to call it that. Like, how did he change that? And he said he was honored that he could come on here and just share like what he did. And guys, it's going to be a little surprising for some of you what he says because you're going to think like, oh my gosh, I could be doing that and I'm not. And I'm just excited for you guys to hear from him. But before we do that, Bryn and I have something really funny but special to share with you guys. Okay. We were like, let's just talk about it quickly. When we were talking about December, we know what happens with most people, right? December comes and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'll get ready. The new year, new you, new me. Boop. And we're like, okay, dude, but what are you going to do in December? And yeah, So we use the holidays as an excuse to let the momentum fizzle, deflate, deplete in our business. And then in January, when we're like, new us, new me, new you, it takes you guys like 3 to 4 weeks to even get your party started again. And
Yep.
that isn't healthy for a business because again, it's like jerking. You're jerking your business, you're building your that was interesting.
I can't with you, dude.
You're roller coastering your business. You're up and down, up and down. You're bipolar like my brain. Okay. And you're not consistent. And we know, like, Bryn and I know for December, like with goals that we have for 2024, like, this is not a time for you to slow down.
Mm-mm.
What did you say about the separation season? Something you
Yeah,
said. What did you say about
this
that?
this is separation season. I remember the first time I heard that. I think it was Ed Milet, and I was like, "That is so good. That makes so much sense." Because 95% of the world in December is going to stop. They're
Mm.
gonna relax. They're gonna be so excited about hanging out with family and gift buying and doing parties and eating their faces off, which I still plan on doing all of those things, right?
Same.
But I don't plan on taking my foot off of the gas pedal because here's what I know. Imagine this: 95% of the world, 95% of our industry just stops in December.
Mm.
Like they legit just stop. What if you just kept your foot on the gas pedal? You still did
Mm.
all those other things. You still enjoyed your family, did your gift shopping, went to parties, ate your face off, right? But you got really, really, really focused and intentional over the month of December.
Mm.
This would put you ahead of 95% of the other people in the industry. So think about it. If there's only 5% of the industry out there working in December, that means there's no less people to sell to. There's no less people to recruit, but now there's only 5% of you out there talking to those people. That's
Oof.
how you separate yourself. I know
Mm.
that December has been one of the biggest recruiting months for me almost every year because most everyone else stops and I don't. And so
Oof.
I go into January and I'm on fire and I never took my foot off the gas. Where most people go into January, and just like Marina said, they're like, it takes them 3 to 4 weeks to even start moving again because even if you're excited about the new year and all those things, well, like your popcorn's not popping because you're reaping the benefits or not thereof of what you did or didn't do in December.
The separation, I loved that when you said that the other day because it's true. It's like when people slow down, the people who know there's opportunity in a slow month or slow season are the ones that take off the most. And I've always done that, and I didn't realize I always did that in my business. And so I love that we're talking about this. And so listen, guys, we wanted to make a really fun way for you to stay engaged in your business in December. If you haven't learned already, we are dorks. We're the leaders that lead from our heart. We will put you in your place, but we like to have some freaking fun.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, we've got to make this business fun. Otherwise, it makes you feel like you're working a job and we ain't doing that. Okay? No. Keep going through. Thank you very much. So it's like we're like, okay, how can we create something that is in real time to help, right? Like real time, Monday through Thursday. And where can they get direct access to us to where we can give action steps and give things that are going to open your mind in December to continue to build your business? And so we came up with something pretty cool. It's called the December Dash Pass. And it's basically a dash pass for you in December to join our December dash pass chat. It's going to be a chat where we're going to guide you Monday through Thursday in the month of December on how to keep your business in motion. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some dorky fun things in there. This is how we drive our team, our personal team, and what we personally do with our teams inside of our chats. And so we want you to get a sneak peek behind the scenes of what that looks like. So when you are recruiting, you can use these types of things inside of your team chats in order to motivate, inspire, and get your people in action as well.
Yeah, I just have to say, I hope you guys like dancing. There might
Mm.
be some Macarenas. There might be some Tootsie Rolls. You know, we're like old school up in here.
Yeah, there's nothing, there's probably no line dancing. We're
There's
just
gonna
gonna
be
put that out
whips
there.
and nays, and I don't even know. I try to do these dances. I'm not very good at them. You might
We'll
be
have prize giveaways in there. We're gonna do some fun stuff. We
ugly
know
sweater,
that.
because who doesn't love ugly
Ooh,
sweater?
ugly sweaters. We'll have themed during out. And look, you're gonna wanna be a part of this, right? So here's the deal. We're gonna put the banner up for you right here, and we're going to send and text and email out the link. It's $147 for the month of December to work directly with Bryn and I. And we're going to have some of our top recruiters from our personal teams that will be inside there helping you as well. Is that not insane? That's so exciting. Hold on. Let me just show them the page. That'll probably make more sense. Let me just show you guys really quick. Share the screen. Go here. It's going to be so much fun. So say goodbye to the post Cyber Monday slump and hello to the unstoppable success with our exclusive December Dash Pass. If you're ready to keep your recruiting momentum soaring through the holidays, this
It makes me laugh every time I look at it. We're
if I
dorks.
can't tell you how much fun we're going to have inside of here together, I don't know what does. Okay. And so, what is it? It's your golden ticket to a specific fun filled chat session hosted by none other than Bryn Lang and Marina Simone. Okay. So, this is for the month of December. You can go to this page, recruitmyfaceoff.com/dash pass. That's where you can go and you can join, and we're only keeping this open for 5 days, guys. So if you have like people on your team that you want in on this, I would highly suggest you send them this actual link as well, because if they do not get in before the clock strikes 0, we're closing it down. It's not
And
like
I mean,
staying open.
I still am like $147 for a whole month.
I know. We just wanted to have some fun, you guys. Like, all we really wanted to do was have fun with you guys and
Yeah, and
give
it keeps
back.
us motivated and
Yeah.
excited and get to
Yeah.
run together. It's always way more fun to do
Yeah.
things together.
It's so much more fun to do things together, you guys. So, without further ado, we are so excited. Brian is going to close this out, one of the top recruiters in our whole company. When I tell you, in our whole company, like he gives the top recruiters some of the run for their money of some top earners. Coach is about to break some things down for you, and we cannot wait to see you inside of the Dash Pass. Pay attention to your emails. Pay attention. For those of you that are VIP, you also have a bonus recording from Project Broadcast owner Jake Dempsey on how you can use Project Broadcast to recruit. The VIPs, you've got that special session. So that'll already be loaded in your back office with the workbook as well. We
Yeah,
love
and
you. Oh,
we gotta tell them also,
Oh, the
it
VIPers. Oh, good call.
yeah,
VIPers, you get to upgrade for $100. So if you're already a VIP, meaning you already purchased the workbook, we're not going to make you pay another 47. You took advantage of the $47 to buy the workbook and the recordings. And so we're just going to we'll get inside the chat with you guys after this so we can give you a specific link that's just for you.
yeah. Go
Love
coach.
you. Go coach. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, my name is Brian Ellsworth, and they call me the coach. I've been coaching high school basketball now for, about 23, 24 years, almost as long as I've been in the business, in this industry. And that should be a little bit of a clue to you. I was able to coach because of this industry. So I've been doing it a long time. That really shouldn't really impress you all that much, but it should make an impact from the standpoint that I might have learned a couple of things along the way, and certainly learned what not to do. And before I get into our material today, I want to thank Marina Simone, Bryn Lang. We're talking about just badass superstars that are just killing it in our industry. Obviously, you're here because you're impacted by them. I want you to know that I'm impacted by them. I have the utmost respect for both of these leaders. They do it the right way. They build business in the service of others, which is a key point for you to grab a hold of. Hopefully, you're going to take some notes because, yeah, I'm a notebook guy, and I would encourage you to do the same. You can certainly review this and write down something that jumps out. And hopefully I can give you one or two nuggets on the material today. But, when I was talking and thinking about this whole idea of the mastering the recruiting conversation, a lot of times people, they hear that word recruiting, and they're like, "Ooh, it's kind of scary." A lot of people that I work with, that come in, they're like, "Coach, this whole idea of recruiting people just kind of, it hits me, and I'm a little intimidated." They also, I've heard people say, well, this whole idea of team building, what's the point of that? Well, guys, let me really get you to understand this. This needs to be crystal clear to you that when you build a team, you have a big business. Don't get me wrong. I am a firm believer in customer acquisition. I am a firm believer in being able to share your products that you believe in. At the end of the day, if you want freedom and not just a high-paying job, you're going to probably want to create leverage. You're going to probably want to create a team. Why wouldn't you want to help somebody? I mean, that's ultimately the question I had to ask myself. I actually said this to myself. I said, "Coach, who do you dislike so much that you wouldn't share this deal with?" I want you to think about that for a moment. And I really think that it comes from a mindset shift that's required for all of us. Guys, I've been doing, as I mentioned, over 2 decades, and I still have to go through a mindset shift and understand why I'm doing what I'm doing and understand what it is that I have a hold of. So let's kind of break down this conversation, and we're going to have a couple of building blocks that are necessary for you to get a hold of as a baseline, or none of the other stuff will even work. Let me say that again. A couple of these things I'm going to talk about that are the baseline, the foundation, mindset stuff going in. If you don't have this in place, nothing will work. A lot of you are having conversations and they're not producing results. And I would be willing to bet that in 80% of the cases, we have a crack in the foundation. And I don't know about you, but when there's a crack in the foundation, it just seems like the house doesn't sit well. It seems like everything built up from that foundation isn't good. So we need to have that solid foundation. A lot of people have a belief system, if you will, that there's just not enough people. Brian, who am I going to talk to? Coach, where are they coming from? Well, let me push this aside right now, and let me challenge you to think about this. How many of you have a phone? Probably everyone. Probably has a smartphone, okay? Here's a question. How many contacts are in that phone? I'd be willing to bet the average person, this is a stat I read, has about 250 contacts in their phone. Now, some of you are saying, well, Brian, I don't want to talk to people I know. We're going to set that aside for a moment because we're going to deal with that in a minute. But there's a lot of people in your phone. What about social media? How many friends do you have? And I realize some are friends at different degrees or another, different relationship depth, if you will. But the fact remains you have a network there. And there's probably a lot of people in that list. Guys, I'm not social media guy, but here's what I'm here to tell you. that when I started this business, I had about 300 friends. All right. When I started to get involved in social media, because in my first company, I didn't do it at all. I had to learn how to do it and get my skills up. There's another tip. You're going to get a lot of bonuses today. All right. But I had to learn, and just some simple things and actions that I did that Marina and Bryn taught me. I was able in about a year to increase those 300 friends to about 2,500. Now, there are people that got 5,000. Believe me, I'm not the expert on social media, but here's what I know. There's a pile of people in there. So there's not a shortage of people. What about people you do business with? Take a look at your online bank statement and ask yourself, who do I pay money to? Those are great prospects. You know why? Because you did business with them. And if you'll approach this from not really what you can get, but what you can give, there's a great reciprocity piece there. I did business with Lisa. I did business with Frank. They're probably going to look at what I got. Okay. And if they don't, I might go do business with somebody else that will at least take a look. Does that not make sense? What about hobbies? If you don't have a hobby, take one up. It'll be a great stress reliever. You'll meet some new people. And you know what? You just might learn something that's new. I like learning new things. A lot of times they're hard and they're a little bit intimidating. But what I find is once I get into it and I can figure it out and I have somebody that can help me and I can learn it, wow, now I like it. Okay? So take up a hobby. Something I took up recently, pickleball. I've just started to play. I'm probably terrible by most stretch of the imagination. But here's what I'm here to tell you. There's about 25, 30 pickleball people that are around that I run into that all of a sudden, guess what? I can be a good human and have a conversation. No, not pitch them, not try to sell them, but have a conversation and perhaps expand my network and make a friend. So what's your hobby? I'll give you a quick story. This was probably, got to be about 10, 15 years ago. We used to live in the inner city, right? Down by some parks and the college, and it was a great neighborhood. And there was this little lake that was near our house, and I would walk to it a lot of times. And one day I'm walking toward the lake and I hear this noise. It's like, rear, and I hear this noise and it sounds like an engine. All right. And it's coming from the lake. And I'm like, wait a minute. They don't have motorboats in the lake. What the heck's going on? So I go down there and investigate because I'm a little nosy. And I look, and lo and behold, there's a bunch of dads with their daughters and their sons, and they got these little remote control speedboats. And there's a whole obstacle set up. And listen, all I had to do was see that and see this with the remote control, and they had coach hook, line, and sinker. I walked down there. I'm just watching, observing. I'm like, just checking things out. And I look at a guy and I say, hey, you do this a lot? I said, what's with the boats? I said, I've lived here for 25 years, never heard of it. He started explaining to me, this is a club and we do this. And it's a great way to spend time with my kids. And, every Saturday we're going to be here from 11 to noon running these obstacle courses. And he says, for the most part, most of us stay till about 1. And I said, really? And he says, we're always looking for more people to kind of get involved. What do you do? So I get talking with this guy. All I can tell you is about $500 later. All right. I had the Mac Daddy boat. All right. Drug my daughter down there, and I'm all of a sudden buzzing around, racing this boat, having a blast with her, meeting a bunch of people. Why do I tell you this story? There were probably within 3 weeks at any moment in time, 12 to 15 adults there, mostly men, some women. And I get talking to them, and I'm just smiling and being a friend. And here's what I'm here to tell you. Out of those 12 to 15 people, I got to know them. 3 or 4 of them I still talk to this day. So make a good friend. The second thing is most of them bought my product. And oh, by the way, 3 of them got in my business within a month. And guess what? I didn't pitch anybody. I didn't try to sell anybody. I didn't do anything. I was just a smiling guy that was hanging on his, boat and buzzing around the lake on a Saturday morning, having a blast with a bunch of people that had a like interest. Now, maybe the boat's not you. Find something that you can take up, because guess what? There's a pile of people that have that same interest that are great ways to expand your network that can be prospects for you. And no, don't pitch them. And I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes, but don't get involved in that. Don't be salesperson where when they see you, they run. You don't have to be that. You can be you and be very successful. What else? Friends of friends. Guys, I'm constantly asking people for referrals. Who do you know? Think about this. There's a bunch of people that you know, but guess what? They know a bunch of people too. And if they're not interested, ask them who they know. Here's another one, and I'll finish here. And guys, I could give you a list a mile long. So there's no shortage of people. No shortage of people. Independent-minded business owners. Now, who are they? They're your self-employed people. They're your real estate agents, your mortgage brokers, your insurance sales guys, your seasonal business owners. Why do I say them? And there's probably 15 that I'm not mentioning. Why do I say them? Because number one, they know how to run their own schedule. They're a bit entrepreneurial, and they know what it takes to make an income. They're not in an employee mindset box, and they can be great prospects, or they hang out with a lot of people like that can lead you to people. So don't fall asleep on the fact. Let's get rid of that little myth that who am I going to go to? Where am I going to have conversations? There are millions of people that you can tap into. Number 2, now that's part of our foundation. The fact that I know that there's a ton of people, and I understand that I need to look at this from an abundance mindset. All right? Because when I come from an abundance mindset, it's going to lead into one of my other topics. It allows me to have some strength and not be the needy person, because the needy person, nobody wants to do business with. All right? So understand there's abundance of people out there. Number 2, belief and posture. Guys, do you believe in what you got? If you're brand new, your belief may not be all that great. Get someone who's a leader that you can borrow their belief from. Because I'm telling you, if you believe in what you got, half of the battle is won. If you don't believe in what you got, you're done before you start. So your belief has to be strong. The fact of the matter is, there is a lot of people out there that can use what you got. What's that? An extra $500 to $1,000 a month. I heard a stat recently that 80% of our population would jump up and do cartwheels if they had an extra $500 to $1,000 a month in disposable income they could use for stuff. What? Pay off credit card debt. Maybe have a better Christmas, a better holiday vacation. Maybe put aside some money for kids' education. Maybe take care of their aging parents. Maybe take care of their retirement. Maybe be able to bring a spouse home. Guys, I don't know what it is for you. I don't know what it is for the people you're talking to, but here's a big tip. Find out what it is that they want, all right? And then you can create a bridge, which is your opportunity to get them there. And I am a firm believer that we can help them get there, all right? Because we have a powerful, powerful income, whether it's $500 a month, $5,000 a month. I'm not making income claims, but the bottom line is that and much, much more. Matter of fact, the 2 names that I mentioned earlier that I thank for allowing me to talk to you, all right, have done way more than that. We're talking 7 figures. So guys, everything in between is possible. So believe that it's possible. Believe that what you got a hold of is great, and it's possible to empower and change someone's life for the better. Posture is huge because that allows me to have this belief where when I'm talking to somebody or when I do an approach, I'm believable, and they look at me, they go, I don't know what coach is into, but I got to find out because he is jacked up. Not to mention the fact that I come across, and I want to recommend you do this. You may want to jot this down. Come across like they need you, you don't need them. Let me say that again. Folks, they need you, you don't need them. And isn't it interesting when we have an abundance mentality, when we have a situation where we have so many people to get back to, we don't care when somebody says no. Guess what, folks? I don't care when they say no. I just simply ask them who they know. And you know what else? I don't even care about the result. Now, let me couch this with the fact that I am cognizant of the fact that some of you need to make money. Hey, I've been in a position where I needed to make money. But don't ever let that cloud your posture from the standpoint that you feel like you need this person because you are in need of income. You don't need anybody. And you know what? The quicker you can get to this stance, which is the stance that I have, all right? And if you can't get there, borrow my stance. Listen, guys, when I'm having a conversation with somebody, when I do an approach, I want them almost thinking, you know what? If I say the wrong thing to coach, he's going to hang up on me or he's going to ghost me. How many of us are saying, oh, I hope Sally doesn't ghost me? Again, I would submit to you that you're probably sunk before you start. Flip that script, reframe it, because what you got, it's amazing. And you know what? They would be fortunate to work with you. That's how I feel. I think that's what's allowed me to be a top recruiter. Because when I talk to people, I make sure they know, hey, I'm here to show this to you. I believe I can help you. If you're not interested, no big deal. I'm doing it with or without you. And I say that to people. And you know what? I actually become more attractive. How many times would you want to hop on a train that wasn't moving? Now, I'm not saying you want to be hurt, okay? The bottom line is, the point I'm trying to make is, we want to be in a party that's packed and there's music and people are dancing and they're smiling. We want to go to a train that's full, that's moving. Be that train. Be that party. You'll be attractive. Everything will change if you change what's up here. I'm telling you. What I'm going to talk about in terms of, I'm not going to get heavy duty in the scripts, but, you know, guys, I made a decision that I was going to approach everybody, not just social media. And don't get me wrong, I realize there are gurus out there that are making a fortune and all they're doing is social media. Coach couldn't just do that. All right. But what Coach could do is he could talk to anybody. All right. Not pitch them. Not ask him to buy anything, not ask him to join anything, but I was willing to talk to anybody through DM, through text, through voice text, dare I say on the old-fashioned phone having a conversation. I was willing to do that with anyone and at least ask them if they were open to taking a peek at what I had. Now, we can add some window dressing to that, but the approach is really simple. Marina and Brink call it popping the question. All it is asking, giving an invite for somebody to take a peek at what you got and letting them know if they're not interested, no big deal. Who do you know? Always. All right. Now, I may put a little bit of window dressing on it. If I'm talking to a realtor, I will talk to them about their business. I'm just a good human. Just have a conversation. All right. I'll talk about their kids, talk about the market. Why? Because I know it's terrible right now, and I realize they're probably struggling. I don't tell them they're struggling. I get them to admit it to me. How's the business going? And unless you've lived under a rock, most of them are saying, yeah, it's a little tough out there. Really? Tell me about that. Now, all of a sudden, I'm interested in them. You know, you don't have to be this crazy extrovert. But I am going to ask you to dial it up 1 or 2 notches. People need to see a little bit of energy. They need to see a little bit of a difference in you, in your voice, in how you compose yourself. All right. I'm not asking you to be the high school cheerleader. You don't need to be a 10, but if you're a 5, you better be a 7 in these conversations to be successful. If you're a 7, you better be a 9. If you're the cheerleader, you better be a 12 off the charts. All right. That's all I'm saying. You got to be a little bit more. Okay. So if I'm talking to this real estate agent, I'm just going to say, hey, man, I don't know if this would be a fit for you or not, but I help a lot of realtors make an extra income without, hitting their professional integrity. Would you be open at all to taking a look at what I got? Who says no to that? And you know what? If he says no, here's what I know. He knows a bunch of realtors. Really, no problem. Let me ask you, John, Mary, who do you know that could use an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month? Now, if I'm talking to the Mac Daddy realtor in the area, right, who's making buku bucks, 500 to 1,000 might not get his or her attention. So I might have to step it up. So it helps to kind of know who you're talking to. That's why I don't really agree with the whole blind pitch thing. If I'm talking to that person, I might say 4,000 to 6,000 a month part-time without, harming your professional integrity. Are you open to taking a peek? If not, no biggie. What did I do? All I did, I was a good guy. I talked to them about them. I came at it from a place of service. I understood that in business and in life, in anything, folks. If you don't remember anything I say, remember this. It's not what you can get. It's what you can give. And when you come at a conversation from the standpoint of service and empowerment, everything changes. People want to look at what you have. That's why a lot of people, I get no's, but I don't care. But a lot of people say yes. So it's so critical to have this conversation. Always give the way out. If they say no, it's real simple. Hey, no biggie. Who do you know? Who do you know that would like to make extra income? Who do you know that would like XYZ, whatever it is? That window dressing, that ad phrase can be whatever you want it. Don't make it too much. You don't have to go and complicate this thing. It's not rocket science. Guys, if I can do it, I'm a high school basketball coach, all right? I was in a building business. I'm not rocket science guy. If I can do this, you can do this. Most of you listening to me are way more talented, have bigger networks than I ever had. But you know what? I was willing to learn, and I was willing to swing the bat. I want you to think about that. I was willing to have the conversations. Think about the professional baseball player. Hey, I'm a coach. This is what I got, guys. Sorry. All right. Guys are making millions of dollars hitting that ball 3 times out of 10. Millions of dollars hitting the ball 3 times out of 10. You know what that also means? 7 times they missed. 7 times people said no. What if you actually said to yourself, you know what? I'm going to do this for my family. I'm going to make sure that my kids have a mom that's home with them. I'm going to make sure that I'm a dad that's present for dinner time. What if you actually committed and made that decision and said, you know what? I'm simply going to ask that question and have conversations with X amount of people, and I don't care if they say no. What if we all actually did that? What if we actually all took what Marina and Bryn have given and breathed into you the last few days? What if we actually took that and applied it and understood that our foundation was solid, understood that it didn't matter if they did it or not? We knew going into it that we weren't going to ask them to buy anything or join anything. All we were going to do is ask them to take a peek. Ask them to take a peek. It's that simple. Why aren't you doing it? I'll tell you why you're not doing it. It boils down to belief. It boils down to your foundation. You're scared. Believe me, I can empathize there. There's been times in my life where I've been scared. But I want to implore you to understand that your life can change in 90 days. And the lives of all these people that you introduce this to can change. How would you like to be the change for your network? How would you like to, 6 months to a year from now, be known as the person? It was her. It was him. They changed my life with this deal. What if this guy that's just, screaming at the screen, for some of you, what if this guy's right? What if I'm actually right and this works? I'm telling you, I am right. It does work. I'm living proof. My life has been changed by introducing people to this business. My life is changed by understanding that I don't care if they do it or not. By understanding that it's what I can control is how many conversations I have. How many conversations you're going to have? Here's my challenge, and my time is up. And I understand that some of you will not do this. But if I could get into your living room right now on my hands and knees and beg you to do this, I would, because it's that powerful. Here's my call to action. It's a simple one. I'm a simple guy. Number one, I want you to be bold. Believe in what you got. I want you, secondly, to understand that there is no shortage of people. The third thing I want you to understand is that you can go at this with a posture that you don't need anyone. And then once you got that in place, here's what you need to do. In the next 48 hours, don't wait. Your family's dependent on it, folks. In the next 48 hours, I want you to have 25 conversations. This isn't climbing Mount Everest. I know people in my business that have 25 conversations a day. I'm asking you to stretch yourself a little bit. All right, do the hard thing. Do the thing that's a little scary, because usually the gold is found where the scary space is. All right, have 25 conversations in the next 48 hours and just simply ask people to take a peek. Give them a way out. If not, no big deal. And then follow up with them. Send them whatever information you have. Maybe it's a video. Maybe it's, a recorded Zoom. Whatever your company has. Get that piece of information in their hands. It's a good idea to ask them when they could take a look at it. All right. You don't want to leave this open. I always set up a follow-up time. All right. Get a person to commit to you. Now, if they don't look at it when they told you, don't beat them up. Say, hey, life happens. When can you review it for sure? I like that. I stole that from Eric Worre. When can you review it for sure? All right. And then you set a second follow-up appointment. I'm telling you, if you'll just do this in the next 48 hours, some amazing things are going to happen. You're going to realize it's not that difficult. You're going to realize that it's pretty simple and easy. And you're also going to realize that there's a lot of people just like you that are looking for something. Folks, we live in a world that needs you. They need what you got. I'm asking you to go out and show them. And no, don't sell them. Don't ask them to buy anything or join anything. Simply ask them to take a peek. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I know you're in good hands with Marina and Brendan. I study their stuff, and it's amazing. I encourage you to plug in as much as you can. Hopefully, I was able to kind of demystify that recruiting conversation. For most of you, you're understanding that it's more about that foundation and the mindset than it is the actual conversation. Conversation's easy. I want to encourage you to detach yourself from that result and just focus on that activity. Marry that activity. How many conversations can I have? And you know what? You don't need a ton of time to do what I asked you to do. I believe you probably could do it in a couple hours. So we're not talking about Mount Everest. Brian Ellsworth, this is Coach. I wish you the absolute best. Go out and ask yourself today, who can I help? That's a great place to start. Have a fantastic one. We'll talk to you again real soon. Take care, buddy.